John Denver's voice was once the whisper of the wind on mountaintops, the gentle song of rivers, and the warm morning sun stretching across green meadows. For millions around the world, his rustic yet emotional singing painted beautiful pictures of nature, love, and peace, bringing comfort and hope in every note. He was the embodiment of optimism, of dreams of freedom, and of a soul always drawn to the simplest, purest things. But then, on a fateful autumn day, October 12, 1997, the sky over Monterey Bay suddenly turned grim. That soaring voice, a symbol of life and joy, abruptly fell silent in a terrifying moment. News of John Denver's plane crash spread like a chilling wind, piercing the hearts of millions of fans, leaving an irreplaceable void and a suffocating pain. How could a voice that brought so much light tragically plunge into darkness in such a way? His death was not merely the passing of a musical legend, but an immeasurable loss for the souls he had warmed, forever leaving behind a sorrowful echo and unanswered questions. The fateful flight. On the fateful afternoon of October 12, 1997, a gently sunny day casting a golden glow over Monterey Bay, California, no one could have imagined it would be a legend's final flight. John Denver, with his boundless passion for the sky, was preparing to take off in his lemon-yellow experimental Rutan Long-EZ aircraft. For him, each flight was not merely a hobby, but a private dialogue with freedom, with endless clouds and space where he could find inspiration for his timeless melodies. He had flown thousands of hours, conquered countless skies, and this moment seemed no different from any previous adventure. Then, just minutes after takeoff, an unexpected mishap occurred, tearing apart the afternoon's tranquility. The small plane suddenly lost control, spiraling in the air before plunging straight into the cold waters of Monterey Bay. No cry for help, no emergency signal, only a chilling silence followed by the space-shattering sound of a horrific impact. As fragments drifted on the water and black smoke billowed from where the plane disappeared, the world seemed to hold its breath. When the Rutan Long-EZ plane sank deep into Monterey Bay, it carried not only a great life but also a heartbreaking mystery. Immediately, investigative lights illuminated the scene, but they could not dispel the gloom in the public's heart. The National Transportation Safety Board began its work, meticulously piecing together the fragments, not just of the plane but of the tragic story, hoping to find answers to the question why. But what they found only added to the sorrow, for it painted a picture of a grim combination of technical factors and human error. The Rutan Long-EZ was no ordinary machine. It was an experimental aircraft designed for aviation enthusiasts wanting to push limits. It had a unique structure, far different from the commercial planes John Denver was accustomed to. The National Transportation Safety Board pointed out a crucial factor: the location of the fuel selector handle. Instead of being in an easily visible and accessible position in the cockpit, this selector was placed behind and hard to reach, almost over the pilot's right shoulder. To switch fuel tanks, a necessary maneuver when one tank ran dry, the pilot had to twist their body, unfasten the seatbelt, and reach backward, all while attempting to control the aircraft. A small, seemingly harmless movement, yet one that held immeasurable danger in the air. Furthermore, the lack of a standard fuel gauge only increased the risk, making it difficult for the pilot to know the exact amount of fuel remaining in each tank. The investigation reconstructed the dramatic final moments in the air. John Denver was performing test flights near the coast, the joy of flying still evident in his communication with air traffic control. Then the engine suddenly stopped. He attempted to restart it, but without success. The most painful hypothesis put forth, and also the National Transportation Safety Board's official conclusion, was that John Denver might have switched to an empty fuel tank or was unable to switch to a tank with sufficient fuel in time. In a panic, with the engine silent and the plane rapidly descending, he might have tried to reach for that fuel selector. Imagine, amidst the windy sky, the plane losing altitude and an experienced pilot like John Denver, who had overcome so many challenges, struggling with a small lever positioned awkwardly. Perhaps just a moment of distraction and unsuccessful reach sealed a tragic fate. The National Transportation Safety Board also did not overlook John Denver's aviation history. He had previously had his pilot's license suspended due to past violations of flying regulations or alcohol levels. Although the final report did not directly conclude that alcohol or intoxicants were the cause of this accident, that information still cast a shadow over the story, hinting at a painful truth. Behind the dazzling stage persona was a human being with hidden personal struggles. Concerns about his flying ability, about maintaining his license, might have created invisible pressure. Was he rushing, worried about something in that decisive moment? Did his experience flying other aircraft make him overconfident with the unique characteristics of this new route in Long EZ? These questions, though unanswerable with certainty, continue to haunt those who loved him. The National Transportation Safety Board concluded that John Denver's death was due to pilot error, but this was not a dry verdict. It was a painful acknowledgement of a chain of unfortunate events. A complex aircraft design, a deficiency in mastering a new vehicle, and the decisive moment when a life hung precariously between sky and ocean. Although the report closed the investigation file, the pain and questions surrounding John Denver's grim death endure, etched deep in memory like a wound that never fully heals. Personal struggles. John Denver's music painted a vibrant world filled with love for nature and the joy of life. Rocky Mountain High became an anthem for unbridled freedom. Take Me Home, Country Roads, a heartfelt invitation to return to one's roots, and Annie's Song, an immortal love ballad for romantic love. Yet behind that clear voice and radiant smile, a deeply sensitive artist's soul also wrestled with its own storms. His life, like that of so many others, was not always a perfectly harmonized symphony, but sometimes it featured painful low notes and poignant pauses. John Denver's personal life witnessed many turbulent times, especially in his marital relationships. He went through two bitter divorces from Annie Martell and Cassandra Delaney. Annie, his first wife and the muse for many of his timeless songs, especially Annie's Song, accompanied him through the peak years of his career. Their separation was not only a private pain, but also a major shock to the public, as the image of a beautiful love in his music suddenly became fragile. These breakups left deep scars on him, gnawing at his spirit and perhaps even his belief in complete happiness. The pressure of fame, demanding touring schedules, and temptations from the glamorous entertainment world further strained the marital bonds, ultimately leading to their rupture. Although always surrounded by millions of fans, an artist can sometimes be the loneliest in their soul. John Denver, with his life-affirming and positive messages, still faced immense pressures from fame and public expectations. He yearned for a simple life, close to nature as depicted in his songs, but reality pulled him into a whirlwind of performances, interviews, and scrutiny. These difficult periods are believed to have led him to alcohol as a way to relieve stress and sadness. While there is no direct evidence that alcohol caused the fateful plane crash, these personal struggles are an integral part of the comprehensive portrait of John Denver, a complex and multidimensional human being. They show that even those who bring light and joy to the world have hidden facets, emotional wounds that the public rarely sees. There is a heartbreaking irony in John Denver's death. He was a person who loved life, loved nature, and longed for freedom. His music was the voice of free-spirited souls, of open hearts embracing the beauty of the world. He was passionate about flying, considering it the pinnacle of freedom and connection with the sky. Yet that very passion became his tragic destiny, claiming his life. The contrast between the optimistic, life-loving messages in his music and his inner struggles, coupled with the painful end in a seemingly inspiring flight, makes John Denver's story more tragic and haunting than ever. He lived fully for his passion, but that very passion ultimately brought him back to Mother Earth forever, leaving an irreplaceable void in the hearts of those who loved him. Enduring legacy and lasting grief. John Denver's death was not merely the loss of an individual, but a painful void in the hearts of millions. He left this world, but his voice and spirit live on, echoing through valleys, mountains, and across this planet. John Denver's legacy is not just about record sales or prestigious awards. It is a legacy of love, peace, and connection with nature, a warm flame that warmed the souls of generations. After his passing, John Denver's songs became even more poignant than ever. Every melody, every lyric carried an unending longing, making listeners both touched by its beauty and sorrowful for a talent that faded too soon. Take Me Home, Country Roads is now not only a song about home, but also a memorial to a soul yearning to return to eternal peace. Sunshine on My Shoulders remains a symbol of joy, but also evokes regret for the last rays of sun on an artist's shoulders. His music became a bridge between past and present, keeping his memory alive in the hearts of fans, a powerful testament that though the body may perish, beautiful values endure. John Denver's passing generated an intense wave of global mourning. Everywhere, fans organized memorials, played his songs, and shared cherished memories. Tears flowed, not just for the loss of a star, but for the loss of a kindred spirit, someone who used music to touch the deepest parts of their hearts. For his family and loved ones, that pain became even more private and persistent. How could they accept the truth that a loved one, a father, brother, friend with a warm heart and a voice full of emotion, disappeared forever in a terrifying moment? That pain is an indelible scar, an irreplaceable void in their lives. John Denver was not just a musician, he was also a passionate social activist, a pioneer in environmental protection and promoting world peace. He used his influence to speak up for noble values, participated in many major campaigns, and founded organizations to protect nature. His passing left a huge void in this movement. People mourn not only an artist, but also a powerful voice, a steadfast soul who always fought for a better world. His legacy extended beyond music to community consciousness, a reminder that we need to cherish and protect this shared home. John Denver's death was a heartbreaking tragedy, a clear testament to the fragility of life, even for those who seem immortal in our minds. It was the sorrow of a great life cut short too soon, an unfinished melody that could never be completed. But in that loss, we find the strength and beauty of his legacy, an endless source of inspiration, a reminder of love, freedom, and the connection between humans and nature. Though more than 2 decades have passed since that fateful day, the pain of losing John Denver remains intact in the memories of those who loved him. Whenever the melody of Take Me Home, Country Roads plays, one hears not only a song about home, but also the heartfelt yearning for peace of a soul weary from life's storms. He reached the dazzling peaks of fame, but deep down, he was just a human being who longed to live authentically, to be loved, and to fly freely. John Denver's death was a heartbreaking tragedy, a grim testament to the fragility of life, even for those who seem immortal in our minds. It was the sorrow of a great life cut short too soon, an unfinished melody that could never be completed. But in that loss, we find the strength and beauty of his legacy, an endless source of inspiration, a reminder of love, freedom, and the connection between humans and nature. John Denver's voice may have fallen silent, but his song will echo forever, a guiding light for souls yearning for a more beautiful world. He is gone, but his spirit lives on like the steadfast Rocky Mountains, like the country roads that never stop calling.